Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 8 of Sports Talk Trio. Just me and Geno today. Sawyer's feeling a little sick this week, suffering a little cold from who knows what, but we will relay his picks, but he will not have it on here. So getting right into it quickly. First up, we'll talk about college football. Big weekend, obviously, championship weekend. There was a big playoff decision. Obviously, Florida State didn't get in, and Alabama got in above them. So I know what you think about that. I think you think there's another team that actually got snubbed out.
I don't know, it matters how you look at it. I think if you want the four best teams, I think everyone can agree it's truly Michigan, Washington, Alabama, Georgia. But I think with the criteria the playoff committee has followed throughout the years, I think it should have been Michigan 1, Washington 2, Florida State 3, and it kills me to say Texas 4, but yes. Yeah. But as the committee said, they came, I don't think they said their name, but they were like, we couldn't leave the SEC out. We were like, oh shit, the SEC's left out after doing that scenario, and they were like, we can't do that. So it seems favoritism's a little much right now. So I don't know. It's just, do you want the four best teams? Obviously, Florida State's deserving. You got to look at everybody else on that team and not just the injury to Jordan Travis and be like, these guys won 13 games. Played a Power 5 schedule, beat two SEC teams, one that was ranked top 5 early season. What can you really say? Obviously, at the end of the day, someone's going to get left hurt. I think it could have been handled different ways.
Yeah, I agree. There was going to be one team that was going to be getting hurt, and unfortunately ended up being Florida State. But I feel like this is the best possible outcome just because of what's happening. But I mean, I feel like Florida State would have gotten rolled by Michigan, but now that Bama's playing them, feels definitely safer for me at least as a Ohio State fan. But I mean, it's just definitely unfortunate because I mean they worked their butt off for sure, like every other team does, and it just ended up being them.
I don't know. Obviously, I don't think Florida State even saw it coming. Like, they looked at it like, there's no way we can't miss it. When
they were all recording on their phone.
Like, they really thought they were going to be there.
I think Jordan Travis knew once he saw they weren't 3 that they weren't going to make it.
But it sucked, though, kind of. Sunday was a mishap for me. Slept in till 1:30. Woke up, and I was not happy because I was like, no one woke me up for the Steeler game. But we'll get into that later. I think it was good that I slept in. But
so
I missed that. But I don't know. It's just like, there's so many teams you can look bad at for. Like, there's so many teams with flaws. Though. You can look at Texas. They had overtime game against Kansas State, right? TCU beat them by like 3. Houston was beating them the whole game. They needed a miracle. Remember that controversial call? Texas had things that come up. Florida State, they had some questionable games, but at the end of the day, they beat who they had to beat. And, you're an undefeated Power 5 conference champ. It's a lot to say about the whole thing. You could go on and on, but at the end of the day, committee went with the big brands. Not even the big brands, but they went with, I think, who they tried to make the most people happy, I think. And they didn't really put much care. I think ACC, just because Clemson's had 2 down years, has been looked at a conference that can't compete anymore when Clemson won 2 titles, I believe, in the college football playoff era. Obviously, we're gonna move to a 12-team playoff, and at that point, there's a lot. I think there's a lot less that separates a 12 and a 13 than a 4 and a 5. These conversations are only gonna get more insane.
And obviously, the day we're recording this, College Football Playoff Committee came out with something. They said like watching Florida State in that ACC championship being unable to get like a first down.
Oh, in the first
half was very disheartening for them. Because, I mean, will they be able to do that when they play one of the best defenses in Michigan? So, I mean, that's definitely part of the reason. And it's just tough to see. But I'm sure they'll be back next year. Tate Rodemaker's decent.
I even think, like, Florida State, like, a Michigan matchup wasn't even that bad for them. Because their defense could keep them in the game.
Their defense
I think they ultimately would have lost. But I think it could have been, like, a 14-7, 17-7 type of score. I don't think Michigan would have blown them out. Their defense, I think, would have been able to hold it down.
Yeah. And early predictions for who wins the Natty. Who are we looking at?
I think it's going to kill me to say this one, but I don't even know. It's like, I think they're both very good matchups.
Yeah.
I think Washington, Texas kind of going to be your shootout type of score game, probably in the 30s. Could go either way. Michigan, Alabama. I think Alabama's definitely going to come prepared. Saban, I think, realizes that his team kind of got blessed getting in. I think they're going to come ready to go. But, like, Washington, there's so many close games they've played. Texas, too. I don't think there's a safe pick. I think I'm going to go Michigan because I truly believe the winner of the Michigan-Alabama game wins it.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Alabama's beating Texas. No way Saban loses the same team twice in 1 year.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
So,
But I got Alabama-Washington in the final. I think Alabama-Michigan's going to be just a game where Jim Harbaugh gets outcoached by Nick Saban. And usually Big Ten's that ground and pound kind of conference, run the football up and just straight through your gut. But at the same time, the SEC also has SEC always has some of the best speed in college football. I don't think that's going to match up well for Michigan because, I mean, their corners are insane. They can definitely keep up. But other than that, they don't have that many guys that can probably keep up with some of the guys in Alabama.
Yeah.
I'll take Alabama to win it, though. Just everything that's happened to them this year, I think it's just they're destined to win it. The Alabama luck comes true. We're going to look at the transfer portal. Transfer portal opened up just a few days ago. For me, Kyle McCord enters the portal. Who do we think his possible replacement is? I'm gonna get to that in a second, but his possible replacement could either be Lincoln Kineholes, who's a backup right now. Devin Brown is probably gonna transfer to BYU. Aaron Noland, 5-star QB coming in. But the real question is, where will McCord end up? By the way, Sawyer's gonna predict that McCord's gonna end up in Maryland, which I could see. I'm going to say McCord's going to end up at Pitt. I can just feel it. I don't know why.
I don't know. He has some, obviously he's from the Philly area. Where did he go to school?
St. Joe's Prep.
He went to St. Joe's Prep?
Yeah, he went to high school with Marv.
Really?
Yeah. They played together.
Yeah, I am now starting to remember that. St. Joe's Prep, powerhouse. You go to PA, there's a lot of controversy. Always talk about them. And, they're actually playing a team right by from me that's a public school. Not, covers a decent area. But you play St. Joe's Prep. You look at the roster. 3 different states. It's New Jersey, PA, and Delaware on the roster. And, teams look at it and, is this even fair? But that's beside the point. They are a powerhouse, so, PA ties. Obviously Pitt's looking for a quarterback. If you watched any football this year, we didn't really have one. So I can definitely see that happening. I kind of I'm not going to predict anything yet because I'd like some more time to just see, kind of how, colleges play out, with recruits and stuff before I make a prediction on anything. But I think his best ball is definitely in front of him still. Yeah. I'm going to try and be confident and say that. Also moving on to Quinn Ewers, if he stays one more year, what does Archie Manning do? Obviously, Sawyer said Arch should stay, but he thinks he's going to transfer to LSU if Ewers stays. Obviously for Arch Manning, he's making $3 million this year, just sitting on the bench, doing nothing. So obviously he's, keeping his body healthy and making money. Obviously as I said, I don't know anything yet on where I want to see these quarterbacks end up, but I think his best move would be to transfer.
Yeah. I feel LSU is definitely something to watch out for as Jaden Daniels is gone. So I could definitely see that. I mean, he's definitely very talented. People have been saying he's going Big Ten and Ohio State. Arch Manning, someone from the Manning family, is not going outside the SEC.
I don't know. Does he switch up on everything and go across the Red River to Oklahoma?
I don't think so.
I don't know. There's a lot of options for him.
Oklahoma is General Booty.
They produce good, college quarterbacks, though.
They do.
NFL. Another big transfer target's going to be Cam Ward out of Washington State. Probably led the Pac-12 had 3 great quarterbacks, but he was up in the Power 5 in yards. Has an unbelievable arm. I know you were talking about you'd kind of like to see him at Ohio State. He's a really good quarterback. Secretly really mobile, even though he doesn't look like he's got a stocky build, but he doesn't go down too easily. And as we saw at Washington State, they had 2 transfers come in that were really high up transfers, highest receiver transfers that came to Washington State just because they wanted to play with this guy.
How much eligibility does he have left?
That is a really good question.
He's old, right?
I think he's got 2 year. What is it saying?
He has 1 year of eligibility remaining.
His 1 year.
And if you look at that, he
went to what?
Apparently, Cam Ward went to St. Joseph's Prep.
Yeah, I am.
Very.
No. No, he went to Columbia High School. He went to Columbia High School in West Texas. I don't know what that was saying. Sorry.
That was saying.
So he's played 2 seasons at Incarnate Word before transferring to Washington State in 2022. So that was JUCO, I'm guessing.
No, Incarnate Word is FCS.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is.
I think so. Probably 1 year.
He's probably got 1 year.
He's gonna be a high target too. I think he's more of like a slept-on target because everyone's looking at.
I could see him mentoring a guy like Aaron Nolan too. I mean, that's a good Ohio State recruit. He's left-handed though, which I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. So
I know I saw someone on Twitter that Wisconsin has reached out to both Kyle McCord and Cam Ward. I just don't think either they'll fit that offense.
I'm feeling just like a JT Barrett type of play style from Cam Ward.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him in Ohio State.
Also, the Heisman finalists were announced. We have Jay and Daniels QB, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, all QBs, and then Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously wide receiver from Ohio State. Obviously, you can say they missed a few. I really, truly believe I know the committee doesn't vote for who makes the Heisman, but it's so unbelievable that everyone was like, you're not making it because you don't have Jordan Travis. And he only missed technically 2 games, so I don't know. It's just a lot like, if he's that good, maybe he should at least finish like 5th or 6th in the Heisman voting.
That's fair.
I think Marvin Harrison on here, I think it's kind of ridiculous. I think he's on here because his name.
All right.
Did he have that great of a season, you think?
Yes.
Did he live up to the hype of this season?
Yes. He made some wild catches.
He did. I just don't think.
You don't understand, like, Kyle McCord was just not.
He's not in rhythm. He wasn't really in much rhythm. Penix, obviously, he balled out all year. I truly believe Bo Nix deserved to be on this too, but I think it's going to end up going to Jaden Daniels.
It's going to be Jaden Daniels for sure. I actually think Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best player in college football, but he's not going to win it.
I can get behind that. I just don't think he performed to the level.
He didn't. But I feel like he just had a rough quarterback situation this year, and I mean I feel like he's going to be a dog in the NFL. You're like 6'4". He actually runs a 4.3, which not many people know about.
Also, Sawyer agrees with Jaden Daniels is also going to win the Heisman.
I think a snub for the Heisman is Jalen Milroe. He led that team to a lot, man.
I know, and you can say, like, he actually had a really good quote. It was something like, when everyone in the world, what did he say? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. He said, give me the Heisman after the Auburn game.
That was bad.
I was like, no.
That was not the right time for that.
But after this past week, man, I'm kind of...
He definitely balled out.
I'm in on the train.
I am about to find this. Just everyone, hold with me. When the world gave up on me, I didn't give up on myself. And I think, like, it actually kind of resonates to, like, the type of season he had. Like, he had so much go wrong. He was benched. He bounced back from it. He definitely deserves to have some talk around with everything he's kind of went through this whole season. So, obviously, you could say possibly he's a possible snub. It's kind of crazy you don't see any Michigan players on here. I don't even know who you would give it to, if anything. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Corum just because
that's what I was thinking. I was kind of surprised.
I mean, there's guys with more yards than him. Just more big red zone guys.
I just don't think there was anyone, like, clear Heisman, like, winner.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a year you're going to be, like, in 5 years, you're going to look back and be like, who even won the Heisman that year?
I actually think Bo Nix should win it, but I think
he went off. I truly think that.
Jaden Daniels had 50 total touchdowns, but Bo Nix had, like, 40 passing touchdowns, which is insane.
Our last college discussion of the day, I read this earlier today, that Washington State and Oregon State have agreed to play 6 Mountain West Conference teams for the next 2 years. The NCAA is kind of giving them some time to try and reincarnate the Pac-12. They're still actually going to have Pac-12 on their field and their logo and everything, what I read. The plan is, I think, to have a actual conference. They need 7 teams, I believe, and to kind of qualify for, like, the Power 5, well, if whatever it is. But they need 7 teams to make an actual conference. Obviously, they're going to try and grab Mountain West teams. What I read that's really interesting is with most teams already having their schedules planned for next year, right now it is looking possible that Washington State and Oregon State might play each other twice.
Wow.
That's what I read today earlier.
That's odd.
To try and
are they going to play each other in the Pac-12 championship?
That's what I saw, and I was reading about it, and it was like, do you consider this like kind of just like a Notre Dame? Like this is just like another independent, but like
it's just two teams going to play each other.
Everyone's kind of like, I saw most of them. I think Oregon State just needs one more Mountain West opponent, but like they could replace that with 2 Washington State games, and I know Washington State needs 2 right now on their schedule. So you got to feel for these teams. Obviously, there's a lot going on with. They don't even know what to do right now in the other sports. They haven't even made a plan for that. I was reading like all the other sports. They have no idea of what they're gonna do yet for everything. And for teams to qualify, also they have to have, I think, 7 programs each on girls and boys side. So to qualify for the conference. So it'll be interesting. I think it's just really interesting. I think they are going to claim Pac-12 champions next year from what I saw because they're both keeping the conference on their jerseys and, stadiums and logos and everything. So it should be interesting.
We will see what happens. I could see Washington State actually being better than Oregon State. Oregon State loses their coach, loses one of their recruits, Aiden Childs.
And lost DJ.
Lost DJ as well. We'll see what happens with Damian Martinez. I'm guessing he's going to go to the draft, their running back. But other than that, that'll do it for the college football discussion. Move into an NFL discussion. There's a lot of hot teams in the NFL right now. One of the hot teams played on Monday night this past week, beat the Chiefs, the Packers. And can the Packers stay hot? I believe they can. Looking at their schedule before this, their schedule is a cakewalk of the rest of the season. I think they play like the Panthers, not the Cowboys. I think their hardest game is the Colts or something. But other than that, I think they're going to easily make the playoffs, maybe sneak in as a 5 or 6 seed.
Yeah. They have the Giants, Bucks, Panthers, Vikings, and Bears next.
That's pretty easy.
There's 2 NFC South opponents. There's Giants, maybe the worst. It was somehow 4-8, which is only 2 games back. But I think they're I'm not gonna say a lock, but with everyone kind of saw the past week that Josh Dobbs is human. So I think they're going to pass them up. Right now, I think they actually are in a playoff spot, if I'm pretty sure.
I think they're actually 8th.
8th? Let's see.
Yeah.
I know they're tied. Oh, no, they're 7th right now. Because Seattle dropped from out of the playoffs. So right now they do hold the 7th seed. There are, from 6 to 9, there are 4 teams tied at 6 and 6. We're going to move into the other one right now. The Rams, moving forward. The rest of their schedule is they have 2 really hard games with the Ravens and Niners. Both of those are away. Ooh. And then they have the Commanders, Saints, and Giants. So obviously a little bit of harder road for them than the Packers. You also look at Vikings have Raiders, Bengals, Lions twice, and Vikings. So kind of a harder schedule for them too. And then Seattle, I think they already played the Niners twice. Yeah. Or no, they played the Niners this week. Then they have Eagles, Titans, Seahawks, Cardinals. So, looking at that, Packers definitely have the easiest road. I think it's going to come down to, it's going to be Rams and Seattle of who's going to get that last spot. Kind of sucks they don't play anymore this season. I wish that'd be last game of the year, to decide, but
I still think the Rams are actually a fluke. Barely beat the Seahawks because Geno got hurt. Destroyed the Cardinals, and destroyed the Browns, who are just all over the place right now.
Yeah, but they are getting healthy.
They are.
Stafford's back and everything, but
I think they're gonna drop these next 2.
Yeah,
and then win 2 more and then lose to the Niners again.
I could see it for sure happening. I think at the end of the day, you just gotta beat the bad teams, and that's what the Rams were able to do. So it was good. It was they got them back into higher up of possibly making the playoffs, but I feel like at the end of the day, they're just kind of hurting their draft stock. So we're now going to move on. Kind of what is this reason for the Seahawks decline? They haven't really been able to put wins together of late. They were looking like a playoff lock, and now we're looking at this team. Are they even going to make the playoffs? So what do you have to say?
I think it's their defense. And I don't think Geno Smith is the guy either. They thought so last year because he put up a great season, but I just don't think he's the guy. Maybe get a guy in this year's draft. Definitely get a new defensive coordinator. Forgot what the name the guy was. Big dude, but he's not good. They have a lot of weapons on defense, obviously, with Devin Witherspoon, who's new, Jamal Adams, he's all right. And then you have a pretty decent D-line still, Bobby Wagner, but they're just not doing anything on defense, so look to see some changes there in Seattle.
Yeah. They've dropped 4 of their last 5, and in those games let up almost 30 points every game. Three games over 30 points, one of them 26 and the other 17. Defense just got to get stops. They were in that game against the Cowboys. They really should have won it, and that loss kills them because they got the best 2 teams in the NFC these next 2 weeks, the Niners and Eagles. So they're going to have to get one of those, I think, but defense is definitely on hold for this one. You're not going to expect Geno Smith to score over 35 a game.
So looking at the Cowboys, who the Seahawks just played last week, what are our thoughts on the Cowboys and Dak? Dak's been going off recently. Cowboys have looked really good.
It's so hard to say because I'm a huge Stephen A. Smith guy, and I saw he had him ranked at 2 today in his power rankings, and he was like, it kills me to say this because, obviously Steeler guy, and he hate, Michael Irvin's biggest Cowboys guy out, and he's just hating on him. But, you have to kind of give him a little bit of an applaud when needed. They should have beat the Eagles. They sold in the second half of that game. Niners game was kind of a blowout, but other than that,
they have a good test coming up with Eagles, Bills, and Dolphins, and the Lions.
Yeah, we'll see what they're made of for sure. Finally, some plus 500 teams are going to play these weeks. I still don't even know if they've beat a plus 500 team yet. Now with the Seahawks being at 500, they don't have a win over a plus 500 team.
It's a little worrisome.
As I think I said earlier this year, one thing you gotta like about the Cowboys is they beat who they're supposed to beat. Yeah. But when it comes down to a team they're playing who's just as good, they're not gonna win that game. That's why this team never goes anywhere in the playoffs. But if you see they win this one, they could earn themselves a home game in the playoffs. So that should be interesting to see.
And the Niners, who played the Cowboys, you were talking, just got revenge on the Eagles this past week, killed them 42-19. Debo Smith's trash talk, he lives it up to the hype. Debo had a really big game for, I believe, 3 total touchdowns. So, what are your thoughts on that game?
I really thought Philly was going to be able to pull it out in the second half, and it was just every time the Niners just kept coming at them. It was 21-13. Next, it was 35-13. They let back-to-back touchdowns. Debo, all 3 of those touchdowns were in the second half. 2 of them pretty far out. Purdy looked really good. I think that was a really encouraging sign for the Niners. The Eagles just I feel a lot of uncertainty in this team, and I don't really know what direction they're even going.
I actually think that was the best game the Niners have played all season. They were definitely out for revenge after last year's NFC Championship, but Eagles looked a little shaky, but you have to remember, they just beat the Chiefs a few weeks ago in Arrowhead, 21-17. We'll kind of see how they do this week in Dallas. It's going to be a hostile environment, especially against the division rival. So I'm excited to watch that game.
Yeah, and now, the Eagles are going to be getting some help. Shaq Leonard just recently signed with them. I doubt he'll play this coming week, but, see kind of what he gives to this already fast flying around front 7 with the Eagles.
He's definitely going to provide a lot of leadership in that locker room. He's a veteran at this point in his career, so he's got a bad back. We'll see what happens with that, but he could be a good guy for the playoffs to in case you have some injuries. He could be one guy on the bench you could use because Zach Cunningham's battled some injuries this year. I think that's why they've signed him. Yeah, I
think also going back to the Eagles a little bit, they got to get their run game going. Only 46 yards. DeAndre Swift's only had 6 carries the whole game. I think you got to try and trust your run game a little bit more. I'm surprised by that, especially that coaching staff with the way they run the ball. I expect more out of them. Also, we had that. What's it called? What happened between the one assistant coach?
Yeah, Dom DeSandro.
Yeah.
Had his security.
No, that was actually
he
insane.
Pushed their player.
That was some usual extra stuff after the games. just anything to get something started. We're going to move to, this is probably, if you watched it, this is probably a game of the week. Colts winning overtime against Titans. Super back and forth type of game. Really good atmosphere. Game was in Nashville. They actually had a really good turnout. Colts were able to, Minshew, what is this, 3 in a row for them? 4 in a row right now for the Colts. Haven't really played anyone crazy, but, they're putting wins together, and, Minshew's looking good of late. He threw for 312 and 2 touchdowns. Michael Pittman Jr. over 100 yards on offense. I feel like for the Colts, it's just kind of coming together of late. They don't have the hardest schedule the rest of the way. You have the Bengals and Steelers, but after that, Falcons, Raiders, and then Texans, which is probably going to be a huge pivotal game.
That's going to be big.
That's going to be a pivotal game. I think they're going to have to get this one in Cincy this week. I think this is a huge game for playoff, I'm lost on words right now, but playoff positions. Next week, they host the Steelers. That is a huge game for playoff race. So we're going to kind of see what the Colts are made of. I think they can sneak in, though.
I think they're going to make it because either the Browns or the Steelers are going to drop out. Honestly, who knows what's going to happen. Steelers starting quarterbacks out, Browns starting quarterbacks out. Everyone on the Browns is out right now.
Dude,
I think the Texans and Colts are going to sneak in.
Yeah, I think one of the teams, Steelers or Browns, are going to stay, and then Colts and Texans are going to sneak in and get a spot.
Watch out for the Broncos, maybe. Don't know what their schedule is coming up.
They play the Chiefs both times.
Chargers at
twice.
Lions, Patriots, Chargers. Right.
They could sneak in. I think they're gonna lose one of those Chargers, but as long as they don't get swept by them, they should be all right.
So obviously, just talk about the Steelers. Lost 24-10. Where they at right now?
Man, I don't know. I enjoyed watching the delays more than the game. This one was just super hard to watch. I just like to shout out Deontay again. Another moment of him doing some things that not should be done. We have him score a touchdown while down 24 to 10.
Yep.
And he's dancing. I'm so happy you caught a touchdown, bud. It only took you basically 2 years. That was embarrassing. I know he was addressed after the game. I saw. Oh my God! Who was this? Who said it? But it was an ex-Steeler, kind of joined the team later on in his career. He's now retired.
Ryan Clark.
No. But he brought up how the Steelers kind of run their program more as like a business. They take it more as a job. They said that they don't really give you certain times that you have to be in the weight room or certain times that you have to be in film. They put a lot of responsibility on you to know how to do your job, to know how to, take care of your body, know how to lift, know what film to watch. It's not a lot of formality from what I'm hearing, And for a team where we're kind of relying on a lot of younger guys with key injuries everywhere, I think something's going to have to change. Tomlin, that was the worst coaching job he's ever done, and I think he admitted to it. Shout out James Conner, got his get back on us, but this one was this was ugly all over the places. I honestly am cheering for Rudolph to start Thursday. I think he's the better guy.
He probably is better than Mitch.
I just know I think we're gonna be chilling because we're wearing the color rush jerseys and the end zones are gonna be painted gold. So
watch out for Trace McSorley to get in.
Hey, he did just get signed to the practice squad.
He probably won't even be dressed.
But I don't know. Obviously, and everybody's seen the news. Minka broke his hand mid-game, but he's still gonna play. He's not a little kid, but we're just not looking good right now. Injuries literally everywhere. It's not a sight to see. My head's swiveling with this because we really let down the fans last weekend, and it just hurts to say that because we got really good fans and there's just no explanation for what's really been going on. TJ, I'd like for him to shut his mouth up a little bit and stop complaining. Everybody gets held in this league. I don't think that's the reason why we lost to the Cardinals. But man, that just sucked. It sucked. So, what do we have here?
We'll look at it.
Oh, and Yeah. I'm just looking at the injury report. Nothing crazy with the Steelers, but it's just there's not really a lot of you gotta like to see. A lot of questions around the whole season right now.
We're going to move on to a little more fun segment. This past week, past Thursday, so almost a week from today, Butler defeated Texas Tech in an overtime thriller, 103-95. Probably shouldn't have gone to overtime, but Chance McMillian or whatever his name is just absolutely torched Butler on defense.
So, the guy who got the bucket was that Isaac Pops.
Pop.
Isaac Pop.
Apparently they call him
or
Pop.
Pop Isaac. But here's the thing. We were lucky to even take that game, the overtime, because we were down 6.
Number 0
with a minute left in the
us.
game.
Yeah.
And we hit some really big threes. DJ Davis, Jamel Telford stepped up. Huge. Both hit 2 threes in the last 2:30 of regulation. Basically send this one to overtime. I think unsung hero is my guy, Andre Screen, man. I've been saying this.
Screen time.
He was going to go off. Bucket efficiency at a different type of level for him. He didn't really back down from the competition. I thought we should have went to him more at the end of the game. Texas Tech's tallest player on the court was 6'6".
Yep.
And Andre Screen 7'1". So
he made a big play. Almost turned the ball over, caught the ball, swung it out to Telford. Telford hit
yeah.
3. Yeah.
And
so
it's funny because anytime Screen gets the ball, it's like a panic mode.
Yeah.
It's like, what is he gonna do with it this time? But huge win for Butler. Check out the latest bracketology with Joe Lenardi. We are currently a last 4 team in. We would be in a playing game right now, but this is way before even conference play. But I think Butler's definitely got to finish the non-conference undefeated. I
think they will.
We'll go into Big East play at around. We'll be at 9-2 if we do that. We got no one really even good to play in December. We'll play Georgetown right before and Providence, which is going to be a big game.
Yeah.
But Butler's got to, if we can find ourselves going into the new year around 11-3, 10-3, I think we'll be sitting at a really good spot.
See where they finish in the Big East too. Those big games I think are in February. Play Marquette at home, so that's gonna be a big game. Probably lose, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. We gotta be able to get a few against those guys and just handle business against the bottom half of the league. But you just gotta really just hope for everyone to keep staying healthy. That's gonna be what it is at the end of every season with every team. It's just really who's the most healthy and who's playing the best, basketball at that time. And the big key with that is, who's healthy and who's not. Hopefully, from what I've heard, Augusto should be seeing action in the next week or so. Hopefully play a game before Big East play. As I've seen, he's in warm-ups now. He's just not fully a full go yet, so hopefully he joins the team back soon.
Game of the year candidate, Kansas holds on against UConn. I believe they won 68-64. So Kansas is now the number 2 team in the country.
Yeah, with the rankings came out the other day. Arizona is basically the votes were almost swept. Number 1, they're 7-0. Kansas 2, Houston 3. Kansas, really big win for them. This is a huge game. Yeah, 69-65. Huge win at home in the Allen Fieldhouse. You got to give credit to UConn, though. They stuck in this game for sure. They were down for a little while. They have a huge, tough non-conference. They still have North Carolina to play, which they'll be playing the day we film this tonight, but when it comes out a few days ago. And then they still have Gonzaga left on their non-conference schedule. So they've been really going at it, trying to play all the good teams they can. They've already beat Texas, which is another top 15 team. So shout out to UConn. Definitely going to be still a huge threat in the Big East.
We're going to look at another Big East team who fell this week. Wisconsin upsets Marquette in an in-state battle at Wisconsin in Madison. Big game. I believe they won by 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. I predicted this one. This was my upset of the week. Even though they were I didn't see this. They were only favored by 2.5 points. I don't know.
Doesn't count.
I don't know. We'll go into the booth to get a little replay of will the win count for me. But Wisconsin's a very experienced team. Everyone's back from last year. That's why I saw this one happening. You're Marquette. There's nothing to panic about. You're going to drop a game like that. You just got to bounce back. Wisconsin's now ranked That's not happening anymore. They got Michigan State and Arizona this week. They will be right back outside the top 25. So, it's just a rivalry game. Really, at the end of the day, you got to go with the home team, and Wisconsin just protected their home court. Now, this is a really good topic that we're happy Sawyer isn't here. Duke drops 2 in a row last week. Both away games at Arkansas and at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is embarrassing. I think it's a shame, like a dirty, rotten shame that Duke is ranked right now. I don't know how they're ranked. It's embarrassing. I watched some of that Georgia Tech game. Their offense was
It just
not.
looks like they don't have a guy they can go to 24/7.
But the offense was not fluid. It's like guys standing around everywhere, no one moving without the ball. The defense was lazy as can be. They just didn't really look like they wanted to win that game at Georgia Tech. I thought the Arkansas was, it was an acceptable loss. Arkansas is a good team. They were on the road. But start ACC playoff. You gotta show up ready to go. The ACC, as I'm a firm believer, it's not a cakewalk. There's some bad rep going on with conference and how good it may be. Georgia Tech beat a ranked Mississippi State team by 10, and then they go out and they beat Duke. ACC is for real. There's no cakewalks, and I think that's what Duke looked like they were doing the other day.
Something that Sawyer will probably say about that is Tyrese Proctor was out, so that's why we lost. But not going to go into that. Another team that lost not 2 in a row, but 2 years in a row. Northwestern upsets Purdue in Chicago 2 years in a row.
This one was it was like a trap game for Purdue. 7-0, number 1 team in the country. And, Northwestern they just knew what they had to do, and they went out and did it. They dug themselves kind of a hole at the half, but they came back and they won this one. And it's hard as a Purdue fan, which I'm not, but to think Zach Edey's going to score 35 and we're going to lose.
Yeah,
that's crazy to say. Bo Bowie dropped 31 in this game, but, man, this one, just Northwestern did everything right. They were efficient on the offensive side. And, they're not a bad team. They're definitely a possible March Madness team for sure. Their only loss is actually to Mississippi State. 9-point loss. Georgia Tech beat. But nothing crazy. This team's nothing to joke with. If you're Purdue, there's nothing to worry about here. They bounced back the other night and beat Iowa by 20. So, nothing to worry about for Purdue. Next Saturday, they're going to be playing a really big game against Arizona, so that should be interesting to see. But
game of the year.
Yeah, nothing to worry about for Purdue, in my opinion.
And now we're going to look at a hot team. Thoughts on Colorado State. They upset Creighton. They beat Colorado, which I saw one of the students from Colorado State rubbed it in Colorado coach's face.
Yeah, they were doing the prime time.
They're currently ranked 13th. They did the shadur as stick the watch up in the air or something.
It's a little high, I think, for them. Obviously, they have 4 really good wins at Boston College, or those might have been neutral site with the Creighton game, but they beat Creighton by 20. They beat Colorado by 5 in a huge rivalry game, and they just beat Washington. Everyone knew going into the year that they were going to be a team to look out for in the Mountain West. I don't think we need to jump on this team too early, though. Yeah, they're undefeated. They've played some good teams, but they're still a human team, and they're definitely going to have some losses. But I think this is a dangerous team you could see in March that you don't really want to look for.
So moving to that, we'll move to a very not hot team right now for the past couple years. Villanova, the Villanova Wildcats are 0-3 in Philly. They've dropped to St. Joe's Prep, the college, Penn, and now just recently.
LaSalle, was it?
No. Crap.
Why
are we blanking?
Drexel. They lost to Drexel. You look at this. I'm gonna keep this as straight as I can make it. Villanova is 6-3. In the 6 games they've won, they killed a Maryland team, they killed a Texas Tech team, and they beat North Carolina in overtime, and they were killing Memphis at the half by 30. This team is good, but when they play these Philly teams, something happens. Some switch goes off in their head, man. They lose to Penn by 4. They lose to St. Joseph's, who I don't think is that bad because they took Kentucky to overtime. But the Penn one and the Drexel one, you scratch your head. And all these games are close. I don't know why they can't pull them out. I think at this point, the biggest thing to kind of see is if I feel like Villanova, if you see them in a tournament as like a 5 seed, I would take the 12 any day of the week. But if I think if you see them as a 9 seed, I would take them to upset that 1 seed. So it's just they're playing down to the competition right now, and they just need to kind of get their head back in the game for sure.
Yeah, shout out my grandpa. He's a big Villanova fan. Villanova graduate, played football there. So I'm sure he's pretty upset. He texted me after they lost to Penn and was very upset. They actually lost to Penn. He told me over Thanksgiving break at Thanksgiving that this is absolutely ridiculous. But I've never seen him so happy when they beat UNC this year. So, but
yeah.
Speaking of UNC pulled off an upset against Tennessee, 100-92.
This wasn't even that much of an upset.
I mean, it's just rankings wise, I guess.
It says it. They almost sold the bag. They were up 61-39 at half. Dalton Knecht scored 37 in this one. He would have had like 45 if he didn't get injured halfway through the second half. Big win for UNC though. As we said, the big one's going to be after we film this one against UConn. If they can pull that one out, I think it's definitely going to lift up their stock for sure. They also took down Arkansas, who Duke lost to. Everyone knew North Carolina was going to be a high-ranked team going into the season, but I still don't think right now they're a top 10 team. You know, they barely survived Florida State at home. This month, where usually you look at December, everyone's kind of have like a kind of easy-go month. They have UConn, Kentucky, and Oklahoma this month.
Wow.
So they're going to be battle-tested before the ACC play for sure. So, good win for them. Tennessee is a high-profile team. I think I said earlier this year, I think they're my team to win it all. So we'll be getting some more, undefined news about UNC and see how good of a team they really are.
So now we're just going to predict some college basketball going into some games this week. First one's going to stay with Tennessee. Illinois plays at Tennessee. I'm going to take Tennessee, and Sawyer's also going to take Tennessee.
I'll be taking Tennessee as well. I think this is just going to be a really good basketball game. I'm excited to watch this one.
Then we're going to move on to Alabama-Purdue.
We have a clean sweep in this one.
Purdue. Probably might be a blowout.
I think Bama can hang with them a little bit, but Purdue, I think that loss really fired them up. I think they're going to go on another run of.
Yeah. And a hot team right now, Wisconsin, who just beat top Marquette, will play at Arizona. Another clean sweep. We got Arizona across the board.
Yeah, they're going to travel out there, West Coast. And it's going to be a hard one to pull out a victory against top team in the country. And then we have a huge game in Cincinnati.
In-city battle.
Yeah, we got Cincinnati at Xavier. Cincinnati is undefeated this year. They haven't really beat anyone amazing, but I'm going to take them for Saturday. I'm not too confident in this pick, but I just think, it's hard because it is at Xavier. It is at Xavier, which kind of kills me. Yeah. And Cincinnati they did beat Georgia Tech by 30, and we saw what Georgia Tech can do, but I don't think Xavier's that good. I think they are kind of coming together a little bit, but give me Cincinnati in this one, on the road.
Me and Sawyer will pick Xavier. I think it's just going to be, apparently, according to Xavier Twitter, it's going to be a crazy hostile game there, so just give me Xavier.
Going off Twitter now.
All right, last segment of the show, some NFL picks. This past week, Geno went 10-3, I went 10-3, and Sawyer went 6-7. I should have been like 10-1 or like 12-1 or something, some BS. Steelers screwed me, Chiefs screwed me, and even the Jags screwed me. It's absolutely ridiculous.
What I say last week, man, who do you want in the jungle by your side? Give me the Bengal any day.
I mean, a Jaguar wouldn't be any worse.
I'm just saying, man, everyone want to throw around shade and see who got the pick right.
All right. First pick of the day, Patriots at Steelers. I'm going to take the Steelers. I think this game ain't not going to be close. Steelers dominating prime time.
I'm also going to take the Steelers. Well, in this one, we have to bounce back. We're wearing our color rush, and we're painting the end zones gold, so bring back some like 80s feel to it. We're gonna whoop them.
No surprise, Sawyer's picking the Patriots, by the way. He said he'll pick the Patriots until they win.
We'll be here. We'll still be here waiting. We'll be back here next year, still waiting for that one. Maybe. Yeah. I thought it was so funny when they were showing like a promo for the game.
And they put Bill Belichick.
They put Belichick on because what player are you even going to put on, you know?
Juju, I guess. Juju's homecoming to Pittsburgh, by the way. Will he play?
Dude, he best as well sit.
He's not good anymore. We're going to move on to an NFC South matchup. Buccaneers at Falcons. Battle of the freaking trash teams in the NFC South. I'm going to take the Falcons. I don't know why. It's just Falcons at home. They always win at home. Baker Mayfield sucks. So I'm going to take the Falcons.
I'm also going to take the Falcons this one. They're coming off a pretty decent win last week, so I think they continue to stay hot. Give me the Falcons.
Sawyer will take the Buccaneers.
He just loves staying in between. He does that
There's
a lot.
There's a reason why he's last in the record. We're going to move on to Colts at Bengals. This is actually a clean sweep, which I'm surprised at. I'm going to take the Colts. I think the Colts are hot right now. I think the Shane Steichen offense is one of the best offenses in the league. I think he deserves Coach of the Year for what he's doing with Gardner frickin' Minshew. So, I think Colts are going to win this one.
I just changed the pick. I was hot with the Bengals last week. I just don't... I wanted them to win last week. I just don't want them to have a chance at the playoffs. But, I looked at what the Colts got left, and, the Colts, they have no one left on the schedule. This game's in Cincinnati. Jake Browning actually went off last night. So, give me the Bengals, put 2 wins together. Browning's kind of getting comfortable under center. Maybe Burrow's not sobbing so much and actually maybe giving them advice. So, give me the Bengals.
We'll stay in the AFC North for...
Sawyer did take the Colts in that one.
Yeah.
We didn't say.
Jaguars at Browns. I'm actually going to take the Browns. This is a big game for us. CJ Beathard might be their starting quarterback. And if we lose to CJ Beathard, I will seriously not watch a game for the rest of the season. I just would have no desire. Our defense has actually struggled these past few games. We definitely don't have the best defense in the league. Juan Thornhill, complete waste of money. That guy is actually dog shit. But other than that, give me the Browns.
I'm actually surprisingly going to take the Browns as well. I like them at home this week. Jaguars in cold weather. That's a cry for help right there. Just in there. Beathard's probably going to start. I also think Lawrence is an explicit word that I'm not going to say, but he's just a little bitch in easier terms. He looked like he was out for the year last night, the way he threw his helmet and slammed the turf.
He has a sprained ankle.
It's a sprained ankle. Swag had a worse sprained ankle, man.
But besides the point, Sawyer's taking the Jags. He doesn't trust the Browns, which is fair. We're going to move on. Texans at Jets. Texans clean sweep. I don't think
there's an explanation.
Yeah.
It should be interesting to see who the Jets quarterback is, though, kind of.
Zach Wilson basically told Robert Saleh, fuck you, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
We'll move on to Rams at Ravens. This is a big game for the Rams, definitely trying to make a playoff push. Ravens coming off a bye, though, in Baltimore. I'm going to take the Ravens kind of easily.
Yeah, same exact reason for that one. I got the Ravens winning this one comfortably.
Sawyer will also take the Ravens, clean sweep. We're going to move on to the Lions at Bears. I'm actually tempted to change my pick. I have the Lions, but I'm going to stick with it. I'll just stick with it.
You are good at picking the Bears.
I am good at picking the Bears. I love Justin Fields, man. I'm going to stick with the Lions.
Kills him to take this one.
No. We're going Bears.
Going Bears.
I'm going to go Bears. I'm going to go Bears.
We're switching up
it's
now.
In Chi-Town.
They gave him a game last time.
I don't know how to feel.
A few weeks ago,
exactly.
I
don't know.
I don't know.
I was with Bajent, too.
Yeah, I'm not saying this
Fields, sorry.
I kind of like this pick. The week before that, they also won. So, watch out for the Bears, man. When did they play them?
I'm going to take the Bears, though.
Yeah. I think it's a good pick, but I'm going to be taking the Lions. Still question marks around that team, honestly, in my opinion. They barely held off the Saints. But I just got... Dude, heck, I want to change. I'm going to go to the Lions, though. I feel like I got to stick with this one.
Sawyer's going to pick the Lions as well. We'll move on to Panthers at Saints, a team that's already eliminated the Panthers. Just awful situation going on there. Clean sweep, give me the Saints, even with Jameis. I'm not even lying.
Yeah, no, I'm with the Saints, too. There's no reason why.
Yeah. We're going to look at Vikings at Raiders. I'm actually going to take the Raiders here. I don't think Josh Dobbs is it. It's in Vegas. I'm I don't mind Aiden O'Connell. He hasn't looked great, but he hasn't looked bad at the same time. He has Devontae Adams to throw to, so that's definitely a pretty big plus for him. Give me the Raiders, actually.
Yeah, I was originally with the Vikings, but I like the Raiders winning this one at home. As you said, Aiden O'Connell hasn't really looked that bad, and I just think they're the better overall team right now. They just look more stable, in my opinion.
Sawyer will take the Vikings, no surprise. He's a big Josh Dobbs fan.
And Raiders are coming off the bye, and the week before that, they gave the Chiefs a really good game. So
yeah, they did. We're going to move on to some NFC play, divisional. Seahawks at 49ers, playing just a couple weeks apart because they played their first game on Thanksgiving. This one's in Santa Clara, though. I'm going to take the 49ers. I think they're going to be on a roll the rest of the year. And they look just absolutely unstoppable at this point.
Yeah, I got the Niners, too. I think this one could be even uglier than the first one, in my opinion.
We're going to move to a very big game for the Bills. Bills at Chiefs. Bills maybe trying to get some revenge on the Chiefs as they just lose to them all the time in the playoffs. I'm going to take the Chiefs, though. I want to see the Bills win to try and make the playoff push so they don't waste any talent this year. But I just see the Chiefs winning. Tough loss to the Packers at home. I'm going to take the Chiefs.
This is a hard one. The Bills are actually favored right now, but ESPN's things don't ever mean anything.
Yeah, that means nothing.
They are never right. Chiefs have really they've been ugly of late to watch, honestly. There's a lot of question marks going on with that team right now. I'm going to take the Bills in this one. I'm actually really confident with this pick.
We're going to stay in the AFC West. Broncos at Chargers. Big game for that. Chargers are 5-7 at this point. Broncos are 6-6. I'm going to take the Broncos. It's in LA. I feel like the Chargers just don't play good in LA. But they play soon. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to take the Chargers when they play in Denver. So
I'm the opposite.
Give me the Broncos.
I'm the opposite. I'm taking the home team for this to go around, and then when they go to Denver, I'm going to be taking the Broncos. So give me the Chargers to win this one. Sawyer's also going to take the Chargers too.
Yep. Sawyer also took the Chiefs for Bills at Chiefs. So there's that. NFC East battle, divisional, big game, maybe game of the year. Eagles at Cowboys. Eagles coming off a tough loss, but it's in Dallas. I think the Cowboys prove themselves. Dak's going to continue this great month of football he's playing. I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Yeah, this is a hard one for me. I think just total hatred for both teams from me. I hate these two teams with like a lot of passion behind that. Cowboys are on this home winning streak. It's a lot to take the Eagles, but I think I'm going to do it. I think they're going to bounce back. They have to, or else, they put their home field advantage on the line. So give me the Eagles. Sawyer's also going to take the Eagles with me. And move over to our last two picks. These are kind of easier ones. Both Monday night games. We got the Packers at the Giants.
Monday evening for Packers-Giants.
I think they're both same time, I swear to God.
Packers-Giants is at 4:30, guys, and the other game's at 8:30 about. I will about to prove Geno wrong as he is on the page right now.
8:15.
Fuck.
8:15, man.
I seriously thought that was
You're
at
talking
4:30.
about next week, bro. You're talking about the Saturday games, bro.
I'm talking. That's my bad. My bad. Gino's right.
Literally, so much doubt. So if you ever wanna find a person who will tell you that you're wrong, talk to me, because I know when people are wrong, dude. I should have bet like the house on this one. I should have bet some flex dollars on this one.
I have 13 flex dollars left if you want to bet that.
I have like 200. It's bad. I'm trying to get rid of them. But point aside, we're all taking the Packers. I think this one's going to kind of be ugly.
Yeah.
I think the Titans give the Dolphins a game.
No.
I'm going to take the Dolphins. I think Titans give them a game.
Who's going to cover Tyreek? I mean, no one's figured that out yet this year.
Dude, I just find
except the Eagles.
I find it so crazy how much Tyreek actually has to his back. I saw a tweet that Tua threw a terrible ball to him, and I think he still caught it.
Yeah.
And he retweeted saying, and he was like, he threw the ball where it was supposed to be, and he's always sticking up for Tua. It's a good move.
This dude doesn't watch film either. I feel like he just runs straight and just gets open.
He just goes out there and plays backyard.
And he's playing literal Fortnite.
Most of in his free time.
But that will do it for our picks and the show. Thank you for watching episode 8 of Sports Talk Trio. I had to get to class. I have class at 6, so
I
thank
will
you
be
for
working
watching.
on 2 finals that I have due tomorrow.
That's
so.
a great student right there.
Yeah, and then hopefully catch the Butler game tonight. Hopefully, if not, then
It's not the end of the
Sawyer's
world.
gonna have to do his own work for
Not
me.
the end of the world. It's Buffalo. But
Yeah.
thank you for watching.